When Beverly Hills Cop premiered in December 1984, few expected it to become one of the most important comedies in movie history. The film starred Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley, a fast-talking Detroit detective who travels to Beverly Hills to investigate his friend's murder. What followed was a wild ride filled with gunfights, chases, jokes, and an unforgettable synth soundtrack that came to define the decade. But behind that smooth-talking charm and adrenaline-fueled comedy lies a story that's almost as crazy as the movie itself. The film went through endless rewrites, a complete change of tone, casting chaos, near firings, and production disasters. Yet somehow it all came together to create a phenomenon that earned over $316 million worldwide and made Eddie Murphy the most bankable young star of the 1980s. Now, let's dig deep into the behind-the-scenes chaos and uncover 15 weird facts you didn't know about Beverly Hills Cop, 1984. It was supposed to be a serious drama starring Sylvester Stallone. It's almost impossible to imagine anyone but Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley. But believe it or not, the movie was first written as a serious cop thriller with Sylvester Stallone in the lead. Stallone's version was darker, violent, and completely humorless. He even renamed the character Axel Cabretti, a Detroit detective on a bloody revenge mission. He rewrote massive portions of the script, but his version went over budget by nearly $3 million. Paramount panicked and cut him loose just 2 weeks before filming. Stallone left with his notes, which later became the basis for Cobra, 1986. So in a sense, Beverly Hills Cop gave birth to Cobra, a gritty film born out of a rejected comedy script. Eddie Murphy joined at the last minute. When Stallone quit, Paramount was desperate. They had already built sets, hired crew, and had no star. Then, in a miraculous twist, they turned to Eddie Murphy, only 23 years old, fresh off Trading Places and 48 Hers. Murphy agreed almost instantly, and the entire film had to be retooled around his comedic personality. In less than 2 weeks, the production pivoted from dark action to razor-sharp comedy. Eddie didn't just replace Stallone, he transformed the movie into a genre-bending masterpiece. Much of Eddie Murphy's dialogue was improvised. One reason Beverly Hills Cop feels so natural is that Eddie Murphy was encouraged to make up lines on the spot. Director Martin Brest trusted Murphy's instincts completely. Iconic scenes like Axel bluffing his way into the hotel as a Rolling Stone reporter or tricking security guards weren't fully scripted. Murphy riffed, ad-libbed, and played with each moment. Even co-stars Judge Reinhold and John Ashton admitted they could barely keep straight faces. Many takes had to be redone because the actors were laughing too hard at Murphy's improvisation. The tone of the movie changed. Overnight, when Murphy came aboard, the movie's tone flipped from gritty to goofy, but not everyone agreed on how far the comedy should go. The producers wanted balance. They didn't want it to feel like a parody. The final result was revolutionary, a film that mixed real action, strong emotion, and wild humor. This blend became the model for Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, and countless other action comedies that followed. Before Beverly Hills Cop, the two genres rarely mixed this perfectly. The iconic Axel F theme almost got cut herald. Faltermeyer's Axel F theme, the catchy synthesizer tune that instantly makes you think of the 80s, was nearly scrapped. Studio executives thought it sounded too weird and too electronic for an action movie. Faltermeyer convinced them to try it in test screenings, and audiences went wild. The song went on to top charts across 20 countries and became one of the most recognizable movie themes ever. It also ushered in the electronic music craze that dominated late 80s film soundtracks. Eddie Murphy was only 23, but already a box office king at just 23. Murphy was not only leading a $15 million production, but also rewriting Hollywood expectations. Beverly Hills Cop became the highest-grossing R-rated movie in history at that time, earning $316 million worldwide. That record stood until The Matrix Reloaded in 2003. Murphy's youth, charisma, and improvisation made him one of the youngest and most powerful stars ever to carry a blockbuster film. Director Martin Brest was fired, then rehired Paramount. Originally fired Martin Brest just 2 weeks into production due to creative differences. They replaced him with another director who tried to enforce stricter control. But after a few chaotic days, producers realized that Brest's loose improvisational method was essential to the film's energy. They quickly rehired him. Brest's willingness to let Murphy experiment gave the movie its unpredictable and hilarious tone. Without that decision, Beverly Hills Cop might have ended up another generic 1980s action flick. The banana in the tailpipe. Prank came from real life. The banana in the tailpipe gag, one of the most famous scenes in movie comedy, actually came from a real story told on set. One of the crew members joked about a prank from their teenage years involving stuffing fruit into a friend's car exhaust. Eddie Murphy took the idea, added his own twist, and turned it into a moment that has lived for decades. It perfectly represents Axel Foley's playful cleverness and quick thinking, humor as a weapon. Paramount expected the movie to fail. Studio had little faith in Beverly Hills Cop. The budget was small, the schedule was tight, and the concept seemed strange. A Detroit detective in Beverly Hills? Even the marketing department didn't know how to promote it. But when the film was released on December 5, 1984, it destroyed expectations. It was #1 at the box office for 13 straight weeks. It beat Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and Gremlins. The studio was so shocked that they rushed to greenlight 2 sequels immediately. Many car chase scenes were filmed guerrilla style. The wild Detroit truck chase in the film's opening wasn't filmed with full permits. The crew shot parts of it without official permission to save time and money. That risky decision created some of the most authentic and chaotic footage in the movie. The camera trucks and stunt drivers often worked in real traffic. The opening sequence feels so alive because it wasn't carefully staged. It was partly real-life chaos caught on film. Beverly Hills officials tried to limit filming. The real city of Beverly Hills didn't love the idea of being portrayed as snobbish and uptight. They placed strict limits on where the production could shoot, forcing the team to film many Beverly Hills scenes in Los Angeles, Century City, and even downtown Hollywood. Ironically, the film ended up turning Beverly Hills into an even more famous tourist destination. After the movie, sales of Beverly Hills Police Department t-shirts and souvenirs exploded worldwide. Some of the police procedures were surprisingly realistic. Even though it's a comedy, Beverly Hills Cop included realistic elements of police work. The production consulted real detectives to ensure scenes in the station felt authentic, down to details like police hierarchy and radio codes. This subtle accuracy helped the film feel grounded, keeping Axel Foley's wild antics believable against a real-world backdrop. The balance between realism and absurdity is what made the film work so well. Eddie Murphy's laugh became a trademark by accident. Eddie Murphy's high-pitched, contagious laugh, heard several times throughout the movie, wasn't a scripted feature. It was just his real laugh, captured on camera. During early screenings, audiences reacted so strongly that the editors intentionally kept more moments that featured it. That laugh became so iconic that it followed him for decades, showing up in stand-up specials and later films. It was unplanned, authentic, and unforgettable. The film got serious awards attention. People often forget that Beverly Hills Cop wasn't just a box office smash. It also received critical acclaim. It was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay and a Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical. Critics praised how it managed to be funny, thrilling, and emotionally engaging at once. It wasn't just popcorn entertainment. It was a smart, stylish, and innovative piece of filmmaking. Fact: it created an entire genre and changed Hollywood forever. Before Beverly Hills Cop, Hollywood rarely combined full-blown comedy with serious action. After its success, studios rushed to replicate the formula. Lethal Weapon, Midnight Run, Rush Hour, and Bad Boys all owe their DNA to Axel Foley. The film proved that audiences could handle laughter and gunfire in the same breath. It turned Eddie Murphy into a megastar and redefined what an action hero could be: funny, clever, and completely unpredictable. Outrow Beverly Hills Cop 1984 wasn't just another movie, it was lightning in a bottle. What began as a gritty revenge thriller turned into a groundbreaking action comedy that changed Hollywood forever. Every risk, every improvisation, and every unexpected decision added up to something unique. The movie launched Eddie Murphy into superstardom, gave us a timeless soundtrack, and shaped an entire generation of filmmakers. 4 decades later, the rhythm of Axel F, the swagger of Axel Foley, and the unforgettable mix of chaos and charm still echo across pop culture. It's not just a product of its time, it's the movie that defined its time. Beverly Hills Cop remains one of the most perfect accidents in film history, a film that should have failed, but instead became immortal.